a chance to tap in with the kid. I probably got about 30, 40 minutes to build and get everything off of my chest, man. So hopefully y'all got some time. It's Wednesday morning going into the afternoon just to listen to this quick build, man. I just want to get something off my chest pertaining to people talking about what they bring to the table and all of that good stuff, man. So I just want to do a quick build on that. So again, hopefully y'all enjoying y'all Wednesday thus far, man. Having a good week thus far. It's midweek. You know what I'm saying? So we getting ready to finish off this week strong, man. So hopefully everybody positive, peaceful, you know what I'm saying, being productive and efficient, handling business out here, man. So what's the word? How y'all living? How we feeling? How we holding up out here? Talk to me before I start talking to y'all. Y'all know how it go. Let me know how y'all living and feeling, man, on this wonderful Wednesday. Everything is good on my end. It's all peaceful. It's all smooth. Weather is pretty decent out here in the good old St. Louis. So again, what's the word on everybody else's end? How we feeling, how we living, man, before we start going in, man. Before we start going in on this subject matter. What's the word? What's the word, my brothers and sisters? Terenzo, my brother, peace. What's happening? Paper chasing, peace. What's the word? You already know we gotta stay safe. Gotta stay safe and semi under the radar because, again, we already know, you know, those big brother, as we call them, are the feds, they be tapped in. So we stay under the radar, staying safe, all that good stuff, man. Taking care of our health. We ain't getting sick out here. All that good stuff, man. So we staying safe under the radar. That's the way to move. Got to preserve life. Got to stay alive out here. We ready to live. We not ready to die, you know. We ready to live. Be weighty or whitey, however you say that. Peace, what's happening? What's the word? But yeah, we talking about Denise. Peace, queen, what's happening? What's the word? Y'all see the subject matter today, man. Y'all see the subject matter. Again, this is probably one of those subjects where people looking at me like, oh, you thinking about it too deeply and things along those lines, which you already know how that go. You know my response to that. People don't look at things deeply enough, and that's part of the problem. Clocks in, peace, what's happening for sure? Yeah, we got a little downtime. I'm actually waiting on a piece of equipment for this gym, so like, man, let me go ahead and stream before this piece of equipment get here, man, whenever it arrives. And I also have another client, so y'all know how I go. When I got some time, I try to tap in. But this is one of those subjects, man, where people probably would tell me I'm thinking too deeply about it, but it is what it is, man. That's who I am. That's me. So I don't know how to be anybody other than myself. I don't know how to be anybody other than myself. Toady is peace. What's happening? You know, and a lot of times I'm seeing people, like, the common thing to debate about these days is, what does one bring to the table in reference to relationships, in reference to man and woman? We arguing about what someone brings to the table. Whole while the table was designed by our enemy to break down. So I say, KDH, peace, what's happening? So I say, before we start focusing on what we bring to the table, let's examine the quality of the table. I think the more important focus should be on, let's build a reliable table together, opposed to just slamming things on the table, saying, this is what I bring to the table. This is what you bring to the table. Forget all of that. You know what I'm saying? If we are trying to strengthen relationships, whether it's with friends, families, or a potential spouse, we need to focus on building, establishing a foundation. That's what we need to do. So let's build this reliable table together first, and then place all the things that we bring to the table on that table that we built together. Because what happens when you have an already established table that was set up to fail, that was set up to break down, what happens is we start pouring all these things we bring to the table. We start pouring all these things on that table. Then it breaks down on us, and now we playing the blame game. Well, It's your fault that this table didn't hold up. It's your fault that this relationship failed. It's your fault that all this baggage, all this stuff you was bringing into my life is your fault. Well, no. If we build this table together, then the blame game, we can't do it because we both put in the work to build this table. So if something doesn't go right with the table, it is both of our faults because we both built the table. We built the table together. So we built this table together and it did not hold up. Then again, we can acknowledge our role. We can acknowledge our role in the table breaking down because we built the table. That is how that's accountability. That's accountability. When we have both built this table and it doesn't work out, then we can only look at ourselves when that table breaks down. If we build a piece of equipment, me and another person build a piece of equipment and that equipment breaks down, I can't call the people that I purchased the equipment through because all the pieces were intact. Everything was right and exact. Something went wrong with the production. So it was something that we did in the production phase of the process. So I can't blame whoever it is that I ordered the equipment through. I gotta blame us. We put it together, so it went wrong. It went wrong somewhere along that process or during that process of us putting that piece of equipment together. So we are to blame for it. So when we take the time out to build this table together, then that is accountability. When something goes wrong, then we got to look at us, opposed to taking everything to an already established table, and that table wasn't designed to hold up. Then when it fails, when it breaks down on us, we pointing the finger at the other person. Nah, let's build this table together. Building is important, man. We got to learn to build together. And that part of the process is getting lost. Like I said, we got all of these so-called gurus on YouTube and Facebook trying to tell y'all how relationships supposed to go. But it's like people are trying to skip past the building with one another phase. People starting to act like we too good to build with people. We too good to struggle with individuals. People are trying to skip past that phase. People trying to act like that phase is not right and exact. We got people thinking that it's a crime to be with somebody at their lowest point and go through the journey with them and go through the process with them. We got people thinking that, nah, we not gonna do that. Holler at me when you get that, when everything is right and exact with you. Holler at me when you get everything figured out. We making people frown upon the idea of being with a person at their lowest. And again, I'm not talking about being with a person that don't have any type of ambition, no drive, desire to be great. I'm talking about a person that they have the desire, the ambition to be great. They just not at that point right now, but they putting in the work. They in the beginning stages of manifesting that greatness. And you see it. Nothing is wrong with going through the process with a person like that. Nothing is wrong with it. Nothing is wrong with it. Financially, they may not be able to bring much to the table now, but in the future, they may be able to bring everything to the table. But you want to wait until everything is right and exact with them, until they done mastered the process. By that time, it may be too late. By that time, it may be too late. They may have found a person that will embrace them during the journey. But now they are basically out here encouraging people to wait until such and such has everything figured out. And then now you want to entertain that person. Man, just because a person don't have much to offer in regards to bringing something to the table doesn't necessarily mean that the person is worthless. Again, like I said, let's focus on building this table first. Solidifying that foundation first. Forget all of the nonsense that we bring into the table. Forget all that for a second. Let's build this table first. Let's get the equipment that we need. Let's build this table. Let's build a reliable table first. Then we're going to put everything on that table. You know what I'm saying? If you having a feast and y'all put all this stuff on a table that was designed to break down, and it breaks down, and then all your food hits the ground. Now what you got, man? You just got a beautiful mess on your hands. That's literally it. You put all that nice food on a not so sturdy table because nobody examined the quality of the table. And now all your food, it done collapsed. And it's all on the floor. Now you just got a beautiful mess on your hand and nobody can eat. So we got to examine the table, man. We got to examine the quality of the table, meaning examine the foundation. Examine the foundation. That's what you need to do. And then if you really feeling this person, you really feeling the vibe, now it's time to build together. It's time to build that foundation together. Time to build that foundation. But if you're not willing to go through that process with a person, then hey. Christopher, peace, what's happening? Just, peace, what's the word? Chris, for sure. For sure. They want that already established fancy table from the jump. And that's a problem. That's a problem. They want that already established table. And they not going to question the design of, they're not going to question the quality of the table. Just give me that table. It's already made up. Let me get that table and let's place everything on this table and let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. And then we compare and contrast. Dexter, peace, what's happening? Then we compare and contrast, contrast in regards to the dishes that, and you know, y'all pretty much get the comparison. Like the dishes that we putting on the table. Y'all know dishes can be, you know what I'm saying, what we feel like we bring to the table emotionally, physically, financially, all that good stuff, man. We gonna equate that to a dish. Y'all having a feast and y'all bringing all y'all dishes to the table and y'all out here comparing dishes. This is one thing we gotta realize and understand, all right? We got different dishes brought to the table by different individuals. You may not like every dish on that particular table. You know what I'm saying? And the dishes that you don't like on that particular table, let's say it's a person on there, man. Let's say a person brought some food, put it on the table, and you don't like it. And you give them some pointers in regards to the dish that they brought that you don't like. And they come back months later and they improved upon that dish. Now that same dish is on the table by that same person and they improved it based off of your recommendations, and now you got a hit, got a smash. So a lot of times, man, we got to understand that again, just because someone doesn't bring a lot to the table doesn't mean that months down the road, months later, they won't offer a lot or they won't improve upon the things that they brought to the table previously. So we gotta be able to decipher all of these things. And then again, just because a person is bringing a lot to the table, like whether it be like financially, physically, or whatever the case may be, doesn't necessarily mean those are things that you need. Just like we could like I said, we can have a feast on our hands full of food that looks good, but this food is not necessarily healthy for us. So again, after we have built this table together, now it's time to place all these dishes on the table, and it's time to examine these dishes. A lot of times we looking at some of the things that people bring to a table and we going off what we want, not what we need. Y'all know the holiday that I don't fool with, because I don't fool with any of them, but Thanksgiving is coming up. You know, we feast, bring a lot of food to the table. That's how black people do it. And you got a lot of food that's destructive. Got a lot of food that is destructive that's going to be placed on the table. And what are black people going to do? They're going to bash this. They're going to bash this destructive food. Going to bash it. Going to bash it. Just like we eat up the destructive qualities and traits that people bring to the table and then wonder why things are not working out. You got to stop consuming the bad foods because it looks good. And that's what a lot of people do. They consume the bad food because it looks good. Stop doing that. You hypnotized by looks. You hypnotized by a thug-like personality. All of those type of things that captivate a person, that blinds them from the things that they actually need. Stop doing that. You consuming the wrong foods, and consuming the wrong foods will cause a lot of damage internally and externally. So you got to stop consuming the wrong foods. You got to stop going off of how things look. A lot of times the healthiest meal The healthiest dish on the table will probably be the less appealing meal sometimes. It's not like that all the time. But sometimes your healthiest meal doesn't look the most appealing. So we got to understand that sometimes. We got to understand that. We got to understand it. We got to understand that. Terenzo, my brother, appreciate that donation and the breakdown as always. Oh yeah, that money is always spread across that bed. Or they put it on the floor sometimes. Clocks in for sure, man. We gotta analyze the dishes, man. Analyze the dishes that you bring into the table. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you having the feast. You could be bringing a lot of nonsense to the table. It look good, but it's a lot of BS. Just like I said, if you're looking at a Thanksgiving feast, a lot of that stuff that's on the table is a bunch of nonsense. It's taking up the table. It look good, but it's a bunch of nonsense. Opposed to that one healthy dish that's gonna be the most effective. So I'd rather bring one thing to the table that would change your whole entire life opposed to a bunch of nonsense that's going to destroy your life. So if I got one powerful thing that I bring to the table and that one powerful thing will change your life, that's better than the 10, 12 things that you bring to the table that's nonsense, that's destructive, that's irrelevant. So again, if I just bring one thing to the table, that one thing may be enough to change your life. So a lot of times we get blinded by the quantity, the amount of things that somebody is bringing to the table, not the quality. Again, I would rather somebody bring one very important and powerful thing to the table that would change my life opposed to a bunch of nonsense. Bunch of nonsense. So you got all this toxic food on the table, but then you got this one salad, and that one salad is enough right there for to increase your lifespan if you don't eat the other nonsense. If you don't eat the other nonsense, like you consuming that salad opposed to eating the other stuff that looks good, man, you didn't just increase your lifespan. You didn't increase your lifespan. Hey, Christopher, appreciate that for sure. Carl, peace, what's happening? What's the word? But again, we gotta focus, man. We gotta focus. Like I said, forget what's being brought to that table. Examine the table. It's like, man, I got this phone propped up on a plyo box. You know what I'm saying? If this plyo box was not sturdy enough and somebody jumped on it, that could be the end of them, man. That'll be a big time injury. And that injury, guess what? It'll be on me. Because I put this plyo box together. Accountability. If I got this plyo box already assembled and somebody went down, then it's on the person. I'm gonna start blaming the other person. Oh, wow, I didn't necessarily examine it. I just trusted them. You know what I'm saying? I say, all right, they sent me this plyo box. It was already assembled. I trusted it. Somebody got on it, hurt themselves. So I'm gonna start blaming the company instead of the fact where I could have examined it and probably caught the problem. And then if I examined it and caught the problem, I could have hit them up before that catastrophe happened. But that's not how it goes. It's not how we work. We get something that's already assembled. We assume that it's right and exact. We assume that it's good. We're not examining it. But I put this plyo box together, therefore I trust it. And if anything goes wrong with it, it is my fault. I hold myself accountable for it because I put it together. You know what I'm saying? So when we build it together, when we establish in the foundation together, when things don't go right, it's on us. Notice, I'm not saying it's on one person. It's on us. We built this thing together. Something ain't going right. Accountability. Where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong in this building process? Oh, nice for sure. Yeah, eating with toxic people is just as bad as eating the toxic food itself. You know? Oh, CC for sure. Materialistic mindsets I'm seeing a lot of that across social media these days. When all of the teachings, like all of the teachings, when you study your ancestors, when you study Eastern philosophies, all of these teachings, man, they tell you to not be attached to the materials. They tell you can't take these things with you. Like they tell you. They tell you do not attach yourself to these things. But that's exactly what we do when we start saying what we bring to the table. Man, we start placing a bunch of irrelevant things on this table and think that that's supposed to impress people. It will impress the average person. It will impress the mediocre person. And then you get upset when that is exactly who you attract. Because the average mediocre individual out here, they're going to gravitate towards those material possessions. They mesmerized by the type of job that you have, the type of money that you make, the car that you drive, the clothes that you wear. If those are the things that you bring to the table, that's the type of person that you're going to attract, a shallow-minded individual that doesn't have any substance. So they blinded by the materials. So don't get mad when you attract an individual like that. Don't get mad. Don't get mad, but that's what I'm seeing across social media, man. A lot of times, man, we focusing on the materials. We focused on the income, all of these type of things, man, but we not focused on the mental for the most part. The most important part, which is the best part. Again, you can learn a lot about a person by going through the process of building that table with the person. You can learn a lot about a person. When y'all go through the process of building a table together, you can learn a lot. You can learn if this is gonna work. That's teamwork right there, man. You gonna learn, man. If you go through the process of building something with a person, you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot in regards to patience, in regards to maybe intelligence, just in regards to their willingness to learn, how quick they learn, things like that. You will learn a lot by building with a person. You will learn a lot. Because again, it's teamwork. You will see if this team will work if y'all build together. How well can we follow instructions together? How well can we build something together? You will learn a lot, man, when y'all go through that process of building together, man. You will learn a lot. Lindell, peace. What's happening? Oh, Ed, for sure, man. Let it go. Let the flesh go, man. If you don't do anything else with your life, let the flesh go. Let the flesh go. I know and understand it is complicated, man, but we gotta let it go. We gotta let it go, especially in these days and times, man. They poisoning the flesh big time these days, man. They poisoning the flesh big time these days. They poisoning the meat big time these days. So, hey, let it go. You know what I'm saying? Let it go. Let it go. Big time poison out here. But again, man, we gotta get ourselves together, man. We gotta focus more on our foundation, our foundations. A lot of us have weak foundations, and that's why we get into situations that do not last. Because our foundations are not solid, our foundations are not solidified. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do better with establishing our foundation individually and then collectively. So once you establish your foundation individually, then when you get with somebody, now it's time to establish that foundation collectively. That's what must be done. So it's all about establishing proper foundations, man. But again, like I said, if you have a weak foundation, you already know what's bound to happen when the foundation is weak. That's when things collapse. That's when things collapse. Like the house is gonna fall if the foundation is weak. Same with that table. Oh, just really, that's how they rocking and rolling. And again, like I said, they have made these things the most important things to learn about a person pertaining to a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody tells you beast reincarnated peace, what's the word? If somebody tells you out the gate what the credit score is, and you just judge them off of that, instead of getting the why the credit score is like that, hey, you may be missing out on a very wonderful person. A person that took some L's. Some people credit score is all bad because their parents did some damage to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different reasons for a credit score to be low. And again, it's all a game at the end of the day. So somebody with a low credit score don't necessarily mean that they irresponsible and all of that. It don't necessarily got to equate to something that's negative. Just like you could have a high credit score and you could be a very trash individual. So again, a lot of people are mesmerized by these things, but these things don't tell the whole entire story in regards to the quality of a person. But we have been conditioned to believe so. We have been conditioned to believe so. You know what I'm saying? So the programming and the conditioning is real in the field. You hear how much money someone generates, and you're like, okay, all right. Then you listening. Oh, wow, this could be a wicked person. But they generating the proper amount of money for you. You know what I'm saying? They driving the right car for you. They look the right way for you. And that's all that you need. Oh, wow, their mind is shallow. Oh, wow, they toxic. Oh, wow, they controlling. Oh, wow, they may be abusive verbally and physically. But you're not asking the right questions that will lead to that type of revelation or those type of revelations. You blinded by the materials. You blinded by the money. You blinded by the looks. You blinded by the vehicles. You blinded by all of that. You blinded by the bank account. That's the easiest way to fall for the okie doke out here. Easiest way. Oh, just for sure. Credit score can be perfect. Like you said, oh wow, you dealing with a killer. Oh wow. Credit score perfect. You straight dealing with a killer. And then you'll say something stupid like, well, I didn't think he was capable of that. He had a good credit score. Like, that's how dumb you sound. That's how dumb you will sound. That's how dumb you will sound. Like, you will sound that dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got with a person because they said they had a nice credit score and they made six figures, and then when they do some damage to you, what you gonna say? Oh, I didn't know they was capable of that, man. They make six figures and had a good credit score. Come on. Come on now, Jamar, peace. Brandon, peace. I gotta put the link up for the powders, which I'm shipping out my batch tomorrow. I'm shipping out batches tomorrow. So like Thursday is my shipping day, because I'm always on the go. So Thursday is the day I ship out the powder. So I'm gonna link it when I get back to the crib, man. I'm gonna link it. I'm gonna put it on that website and I'm gonna link it, cause I got a few left. But yeah, man, like that's how you sound out here, man. When you get with a person based off of these things and then they do some damage to you, look how you gonna have to sound. Like, oh, I didn't know they was capable of that, man. Their credit score was 785. They was making six figures. They had a nice house. What does all of that mean? It's almost the equivalent of all these down low dudes out here. And the first thing somebody says is, well, I didn't know that they was gay because they got a wife and they got kids. That means absolutely nothing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, that means absolutely nothing as far as dudes not being gay and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the same. That's the equivalent right there, man. You judging people based off of that facade, man. They got this money, this credit. They like, nah, that don't mean anything, man. That don't mean anything in regards to their character, in regards to how they will treat you. Don't really mean much. Don't really mean much at all. But if you want to choose to be blinded by those things, then that's on you. Accept the consequences. Accept the consequences. Accept the consequences for sure. But that's the way of the world, man. That's the way of the world. That's how they got us, Shantae, Peace Queen. What's happening? That's how they got us in the wilderness of North America. These are the things that we gravitate towards. These are the things that we are blinded by. It distorts our vision. It distorts our perception of reality. All of that good stuff. Awaken the Hebrews. You say, I can't stand when people say, what do you bring to the table? Even the red pill community saying this, they are more delusional than the women. Man, yeah, like I said, man. What's crazy, like I said, with some of these communities, when I do hear some of the things that some of these dudes are criticized, like even the dudes and the women, sometimes when I do tap in and just, hear some of these things, it's like some of these individuals end up, and I said this a long time ago. I said, you become what you constantly criticize. And it's crazy how that works. You know what I'm saying? So when you constantly, if you're a dude and you constantly criticizing these women, again, what you focus on, it grows. You know what I'm saying? So if you keep criticizing these women, then when you analyze yourself, I guarantee you most of these dudes, they possess the same characteristics that they are pointing out in these women, and vice versa. A lot of these women carry the same characteristics of these men that they constantly criticize. You become what you criticize constantly because you focusing your time and energy on it. It's going to end up manifesting in your life. You know what I'm saying? You going to end up becoming that person that you constantly criticizing because you obsessed with them. If I dedicated my whole platform to pointing out the flaws in women, that's all my time and energy focused on flaws in another group of people. That's my concentration. So I'm going to eventually take on those characteristics because I'm so focused on them. That's how it works. That's how it works. And people don't understand that. Man, OG for sure. Man, the credit score it's all a game at the end of the day, man. It's all a big game. And black people, again, everybody get mad. I just had somebody comment on my little Travis Scott video and say, "Oh man, I was feeling this video until you made it black and white." Stop playing with me, man. If you ain't hip to me by now, man, I'm gonna make everything black and white because that's always relevant. You know what I'm saying? And it's not my fault. It's not my doing. I didn't choose to do this. They made everything black and white. You know what I'm saying? We embraced them. We didn't make things black and white. They did. And so now they got us trapped in this system to where it matters that we are black and original and you are white and grafted. Like, it matters. They made it matter. You know what I'm saying? So even with the credit, like, they created this game, and that game definitely doesn't benefit us at all the most. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, we start out in a problematic situation due to our parents being irresponsible and things along those lines. Some of us, we end up in bad situations with credit because, man, we didn't try to grind the righteous way, but we getting rejected, and we done had to run up the credit, man, to provide for ourselves, man, to get the basic necessities. So it's a lot of different reasons. It's a lot of different reasons to why black people have problems with the credit. And a lot of times I done ran into a lot of righteous, upstanding black people. I worked at a bank, man. So I have encountered a lot of black righteous people, man. I'm talking about people that good hearts and all of that, but their credit score is not the best. And they break down what happened. I mean, it's honest living, man, honest mistakes. You know what I'm saying, man? They was trying to earn a living. They had kids. They didn't want their kids to see them struggle. So they got these credit cards. It's like little stuff like that. So if you judging a person and say, man, their credit score ain't good, they must be this, that, and the third. Man, I done seen some very good brothers and sisters with bad credit scores, and it's just conditions of their life, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was things that I don't want to say were out of their control, man, but they did the best thing they knew how to do, or the best thing they felt they could do at that time, because they lacked the education, they lacked the discipline, whatever the case may be, man. But now they learning and growing from it. But then if you judge them just based off of a credit score, then you would probably mislabel that individual instead of getting the whole story. Working at a bank, I came across a lot of people like that. Man. A lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, black people, we automatically at a disadvantage when it comes to these games, like credit and all of that type of stuff, man. We automatic disadvantage, man. It's a lot that we got to learn in regards to that type of stuff, man. So it's easy for us to fall behind in that aspect of the game, generational curses and whatnot. A lot of us, we are financially illiterate. So then that's what's being passed down. So we only moving how we were taught to move. We don't know any better for the most part. Oh, Chris, man, for sure. Like I said, man, hey, I'm always in a hoodie and some sweats. So you know I get judged based off of that. Just what we say. You got my little progress report. They are supposed to know at least 10 high frequency words. My baby knows over 1K. Let's get it. Let's get it. The next stop is 2K. You know, let's get it. Oh, Shante, for sure. You say, I feel like people ask what someone brings to the table, but it's like you have to think about what you lack and how that person can compliment you. And for sure. For sure. That's exactly how I feel. Like, we just be having the conversations that I'm seeing being brought up in these spaces lack a lot of substance. Like I said, a lot of it, we're not trying to get to the root cause. We're not trying to get to the origin of like anything. So a lot of these conversations lack substance. And again, that's one of the reasons why our situation is not becoming more functional. CC, man, I could tell you, listen, I could tell you for a fact that I did not leave school knowing the basics of like finance. And I went to a private school. I went to a private school. Now, you do have certain people that, you know, claim to have learned about these things. Now, again, sometimes parents will teach you some of the little things and whatnot. But for the most part, man, listen, like I said, the school system encouraged me to basically, this was the American dream. Get this education, go get you a job, enrich their empire, start a family, and then live happily ever after. Oh, I forgot, accumulate this debt by getting that degree though. Accumulate debt, then graduate with a piece of paper, then get you a job, pretty much get his job 30, 40 years of your life, then retire and have to live on that fixed income that's not going to be nearly enough to survive and thrive. So that's life. That's what they was encouraging us to do. Go to school, get your education, establish this, acquire this debt, go to college, get your degree, start your little family, whatever, get his job, 30, 40 years of your life. And again, you on that fixed income that ain't like you buy groceries with that fixed income is gone. But again, we got to break that. We got to break that generational curse. It's a generational curse. Like I said, a lot of black people, a lot of original people, we are ignorant in regards to finances. And we in the wilderness of North America, man. So that's something that's important to know. We got to know how to deal with the finances, man. We got to learn that aspect of life because we in the wilderness of North America. It's important. But a lot of us, we start off at a disadvantage in that field. And that's one of the most important fields in the wilderness of North America. Like I said, they don't encourage us to be self-sufficient. They encourage us to be slaves. They encourage us to be servants, to enrich their empire, to start out in debt. How many kids got student loans debt, right? Like I got student loan debt. And listen, I refuse it. They might as well wipe that clean. They might as well wipe it clean. But how many of us got some student loan debt that's crazy? The amount of student loan debt is just nonsense. And how many people then actually got rewarded for being in that debt? You know what I'm saying? I go to them for a student loan. They give me $150,000 student loans. But if I went with a whole business plan to try to get a business loan at 18, they gonna look at me like I'm a fool and they gonna say no. Because there's no proof that we would get our money back. It ain't no proof that you would get your money back when you give me the student loan, but you giving me that $100,000 student loan anyway. But if I come to you with a business proposition at 18, and I'm talking about legit business plan, I done ran the numbers and did everything. They made my predictions and all of that. Got all the stats, is all accurate, put a bunch of research into it, and I asked you for $50,000 to get my business off the ground, you gonna be like, nah. But you will give me, hey, I could accumulate $100,000 in student loan debt out the gate. So they want you to start out behind. They want you to start out life behind. They want to encourage, hey, get this student loan debt so you can start off life as an adult behind instantly. So you're going to spend your whole life slaving to pay that off first. Let alone the other stuff that you're going to accumulate. Let alone when you get a house and a car note, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they already encouraging you, hey, get 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000 in the hole just from student loan debt. That's just your student loan. You know like listen, man, come on, man. Don't even get me started on that. Antoinette, peace, queen, what's happening? Big time Ponzi scheme, my brother, big time. And they got me. And I knew better at that time. But again, I'm listening to everybody else around me and I let them get me. But I knew better at that time. This one thing I wish I could go back and undo is me going to college because I did not need to do it. I could have just got certifications. All I need right now for what I'm doing is certifications. I don't even need the degrees I got to do what I'm doing. Certification. I would have learned the skill, I would have learned the trade or something like that and been good to roll. So if that's one regret I have is college for sure. Now again, it's some people that they need college, they can use it, but there's people such as myself, I don't need it, or I didn't need it. Oh yeah, Shantae, man, listen. Man, listen. These jobs be offering like $14, $15 an hour. Like that's a game changer. Man, people be out here with whole families, and these jobs be like $15 an hour, and don't want you to work just 40 hours. They expect for you to be there from sun up to sundown plus some, and they give $15 an hour. Like that's what they offer you. Like that's gonna change the game for you. Whole families out here. We grown like that's an insult. And they wonder why these kids walking off these jobs. They wonder why these kids quitting. They wonder why when these people was getting this unemployment money, they wasn't trying to go back to work. Because they was getting more with the unemployment money than they was getting from these low-paying jobs that want you to slave and do all the dirty work. All right, hey, we gonna hire you, but here, take this $13, $12 an hour. You got 2, 3 kids at home, whole family, whole cardinal. Come on, man. And then when you get on that job, man, they said, treating you like a slave, want you to do any and everything. Want you to be stressed out for $12, $13 an hour, and then they try to guilt trip you. When you start speaking about it, at least you got a job. Like, man, stop playing with me, man. Know your worth out here. Know your worth. Know your worth. I wasn't one of the ones finna walk around like, well, at least I got a job in order to justify mistreatment, in order to justify people undervaluing me. Like, nah, I'm not, no, at least I got, nah, forget this job, man. I'm more valuable than this job. I know my worth. I'm not finna look at it like at least I got a job. No, I'm worth way more than this job is paying me. Listen, my value. I'm way more valuable. I'm way more valuable than what I'm getting paid. So forget that. This job, it's not for me. Not for me. My brother, man, I ain't even about to try to say the name, man. I ain't even gonna try to say it. But Doomfist, that's what we gonna call you in Swahili. Peace, my brother. Yeah, Ray, yeah, you say we get a degree and they want experience right after going to school. And that's what happened with me. That's what I was so focused on and I used to get in my interviews and I used to say that. That's literally what happened to me. All I focused on was schooling. And y'all know I played football, I played ball about 2.5 years in college. Man, time was crazy. I mean, playing sports in college, if you play sports in college, it's a full-time job just about. It's about a full-time job, man. That's a full-time job playing college ball. I'm like, man, I ain't got time to do nothing. I mean, it's people that did it, but I'm like, man, I'm just going to focus on school. And because I already knew how I was, I didn't want to be in school anyway. So I'm like, man, if I start making some little money, school is going to be gone. Like, I'm not even going to focus in these classes. Because I already don't want to be here. So I'm like, I don't play a sport and I'll focus on school. That's exactly what I did. Then I graduate, start going on these interviews, and I'm getting rejected left and right because I don't have experience. And I used to tell them in the interview, I'm like, y'all told me to go to school and focus on the education. That's what I did. So now I'm getting penalized for focusing on my education, for giving my all to the education to make sure I'm finishing at the top of the list here. So I'm penalized for it, but that's what y'all told me to focus on. Now y'all penalizing me for not trying to work while being in college and just focus on my education. Got penalized for it. I got penalized for it. But like I said, that's one of the things that a lot of people want to brag about bringing to a table. I don't even care to bring that up half the time. And a lot of women do this. You know what I'm saying? It's more so on the women end. Talk about all the degrees that they bring to the table like that's impressive. They start, you didn't talk to a person, well, I got 4 degrees, I got 5 degrees, I got 6 degrees. That's not really telling me much, because a degree doesn't, you having a degree doesn't necessarily equate to any form of intelligence. I know a lot of idiots with degrees. I know a lot of idiots. I know a lot of fools that have degrees. A lot, and some of them are teaching in these institutions, teaching a bunch of lies. So I know a lot of fools that have degrees. I know a lot of idiots that have degrees. I know a lot of ignorant people that have degrees. I know a lot of brainwashed people that have degrees. So when people start telling me how many degrees they got, I'm looking at them like, so what? That's not saying anything about your level of intelligence. And I don't care what your degree is in. That don't necessarily mean that you have mastered that subject. I don't care that you got a degree in exercise science. That don't necessarily mean you know what you're talking about. I don't care that you have a degree in history. That don't necessarily mean you know history. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't care about degrees. But that's one of the things that a lot of people tend to brag about bringing to a table. How many degrees they got. And I'm looking at them the whole while. And what be funny is a lot of times people look at me and don't even know that I got some. Because I don't even bring it up. Like, I don't just throw it out. I don't start the conversation like, oh, I got this amount of degrees. I don't bring that up unless I'm asked, or unless somebody keep bragging about their degrees and assuming that it's like, I don't know what it's like or something. I'm like, yeah, I also have a few, you know. OG for sure. You know what I'm saying, man? Listen, those degrees to me doesn't symbolize much of anything, man. It doesn't symbolize much of anything at all. It just kind of lets me know, when you start bragging about degrees, it lets me know that you are chasing, you chase statuses. You know what I'm saying? So it lets me know that you that type of person. You chase statuses because you intrigued with letting me know like how many degrees you got. So I'm gonna analyze and examine that part of you. Why did you feel the need to let me know that you got 5 or 6 degrees, and that was the first thing you told me? So you chase statuses, you chase labels. You want to be labeled as a person with a PhD, your doctorate, and whatnot. Like you want to embrace that type of label, that type of status. Ray, for sure. When I was in college, like I said, I've told this story before. When I was in college, it was a white chick. They basically asked us, like, I forgot, man. I'm gonna paraphrase the question, but they was basically pretty much asking us, why are we here? And this white chick was straight honest. She was like, I'm really only here to party and gain new friends. She was like, because I don't have to get this degree because I'm just gonna end up working for my father's business. Like, that's literally what the white chick said. She was like, I'm just here to party and acquire new friends. Because when it's all said and done, I'm just going to work for my father's business and I'm going to be good. That's literally what she said. So she was just there to be there. She was just there to party. I said, must be nice, huh? Must be nice. Nature's own, yeah, slavery, it didn't go anywhere, man. Just transformed. That's it. That's it. Antoinette, for sure, Queen, for sure. For sure. For sure, man. Like, I'm telling you, people, they got black people, man. They got us in regards to like knowing our worth in corporate America. They got us thinking like we should accept these low wages and we should be thankful for these low wages. Whole while the white person that got the same job that we got getting $5 to $10 more probably. But we supposed to be happy that we getting $20 an hour. The end of the day, man, that's not enough. That's not enough, man. It's not enough. Like I said, the way the world is going, it's not enough. You know what I'm saying? We got to have safety nets financially. $20 an hour is not enough, especially considering the amount of time you got to put in to get it. Like when you add up your 2-week check for $20 an hour, like it's not gonna be worth all the times you put in to get that. It's not gonna be worth it. It's not gonna be worth it. You're like, man, I put in all this work just to get this. And by the time you pay your bills, like this, all I got left over? Nah. Like, listen, we the original people of the planet Earth. We wasn't designed to be in poverty, yo. So we ain't out here, we ain't got to be broke and accepting the bare minimum. Like, nah. No. We deserve to be wealthy, just as wealthy as these folks financially, mentally, and financially. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't gotta accept that nonsense. We ain't gotta be like, $20, at least it's $20 an hour. I'm just grateful that I got a job. Nah, you worth way more than that. You worth $100, $200, $300 an hour. Like, nah, man, don't lowball your worth. Don't lowball your value. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, don't do that at all. Oh, yeah, for sure, bro. Like I said, if that table, if it falls down at the end again, you just got a beautiful mess on your hand. Beautiful mess on your hand. But like I said, that's how they get a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? That American dream, they got a lot of us. Swoops the Aboriginal, at least 65. You know what I'm saying? At least. That's what we were. But when you talk to the average black person and you bring that up, they think that that's like unreachable. Like, what? Wait a minute, you $65 an hour? Like, nah, that ain't attainable. I'ma settle for the 20. I'ma settle for 21, 22. Like, that's what they straight got us like striving for out here. Like, when you start talking to, like, we so defeated out here, like, that's what the average person, the average black person, the average original person is out here striving towards. They striving to make that about 20, 21, 22. That's good to them. Nah, man, these white folks doing the same things that we are doing, and they getting paid way more than we are. To where you like, man, you look at somebody, man, I've been in banking, and I'm in this, you know what I'm saying? We all got the same title. And when I start hearing these white folks talk about what they are doing with their lives, I'm like, dang, man, how we got the same title and you doing all of this? Am I tripping? Like, how you able to do this on this salary? Then it's like, okay, yeah, obviously they getting paid more. But I know I ain't the only one that been in a situation like that. I know I ain't the only one. You done been in a room with people that y'all got the same position. Y'all done about been there the same length of time, got about the same type of experience. And they just running off what they doing with their life. And man, y'all living, y'all got the same amount of kids, all this type of stuff. It's all similar. But the only difference is all the stuff that they claim that they doing. And you like, dang, man, how they able to do this with it? If we making the same, we gotta be making around the same thing. How they able to do this? And I know I'm pretty good with my monies, and I ain't able to do all this stuff that they talking about. That's when you realize that they making more. And I done had some white folks slip up and tell me that straight up. You know what I'm saying? So I know we out here doing the same things the white folks, and they making more. They making more. Percy, appreciate that donation, my brother. You say, thank you for this topic. What do you think about women who say they don't bring nothing to the table but their looks? I see it on YouTube all the time. If that's all, run away from that. Run away from that. You know what I'm saying? Run away from that. If you think, boy, run away from that. I don't want anybody telling me that that's all they bring to the table is their looks. Like, if that's all you got, I'm good. I'm good. I am good. Run away from said individual. Not doing that. No, not doing that at all. First of all, we can already see that. You know what I'm saying? So if you already are physically attractive, we already know that part of it. So we need to know what else you bring to the table. We don't deal with ignorance. We don't deal with the deaf, dumb, and blind. Like, we not doing that. Like, we not trying, we ain't doing that one. Like, if you think all I gotta bring is my looks, we not dealing with that. We not dealing with any type of woman of that caliber at all. At all. Yeah, Ray, up 20, that white privilege that we talk about. Man, I'm telling you, I done been in corporate America, man, with these white folks. We do the same job, same responsibilities. And I mean, man, my goodness. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, they getting paid more, obviously. But again, I've had this told to me, so I already know. And that's why they tell you not to. That's why they don't want you discussing your salary at work, because they know they lowballing a group of people. You know what I'm saying? So they tell you don't discuss your salary at work. Don't discuss your salary, even though you can look this type of stuff up online for the most part. But never discuss your salary because they don't want black people knowing how much they're getting lowballed out here. So never discuss your salary out here. Don't do that. Don't do it. But man, I started talking to people about, you know what I'm saying, making $10,000, $15,000 a month. And they like, man, that's a lot. I'm like, dude, nah, don't lowball yourself. It ain't even, like, making that ain't hard as you may think. Once you start thoroughly examining yourself, making 10,000 a month is not as hard as you think once you examine yourself. Once you figure out your strengths and your weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? Once you figure out a service to provide, once you figure out what type of value to bring to the people, and you start crunching the numbers, it's not as hard as you may think. You know what I'm saying? But they done made us think that that's something that's like out of reach. That's left field to say, hey, man, try to make about 10,000 a month. And that's still on the low ball end. DJ Elmo, you say in the UK, the bank was exposed for underpaying its black employees. Oh, man, listen. Crazy they got exposed, but we already know that's going on pretty much everywhere. Santana, peace, what's happening? What's the word? But yeah, that's pretty much happening. That's pretty much happening everywhere. Lowballing the black employees got us doing the same exact work, and we getting $5 to $10 less than they get. You know? And just the type of salaries that they got us accepting as, oh, that's good. Like, stop playing with us, man. Again, we ain't about to just allow them to have their heaven on earth. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have ours too. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have ours too. Hey, Chris, for sure. That's why I definitely had to do my own thing, because they was trying to max me out in corporate America, and I knew my worth. I wasn't going out like that. I wasn't going out like that. Swoosh, you say you in Cali, so yeah, woo, buddy. We already know the cost of living out that way. Original one, there you go. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way. Like, when you really want to increase your income, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, focus on your craft, man. We all got something. Listen, if you don't feel like you was naturally gifted to do something, just learn how to do something. It is not hard. Learn how to do something. It's value, man. Bring value to people's lives, man. If you want to increase your income, it's all about the value that you bring. You bring value to people, man, you're going to get rewarded for it. You're going to get rewarded for that value. You got to make yourself more valuable. You know what I'm saying? So if you in a rut, you're like, man, I need to increase my income. You got to think about how to increase your value as a person. You know what I'm saying? That's simple. Simple fix. How can I become more valuable as a person? And if you got something that you're good at, master that craft. You know what I'm saying? Master that craft. Graphic design. Man, you should be doing some graphic design work every day for hours. You know what I'm saying? Master that craft. Become the best at it. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is, whatever industry you in, whatever field you in, whatever trade skill that you have, master that joint. Master it. Become the best at it. And then once you become the best at it, you master marketing. You know what I'm saying? You understand how to market yourself. Because again, no matter how good you are, if the people don't know about you, then, you know what I'm saying, ain't nothing gonna happen. So you got to get the word out. That's marketing. So when you master the craft, you got to master marketing. That's all, man. You got a craft, you master the craft, you master how to market yourself. You'll never starve. You'll never starve out here. Master your craft and master marketing. It's people with mediocre products out here, but they have mastered the art of marketing. Then it's people with wonderful products and services, but they don't know how to market themselves. So they suffer. But they got grade A products and services, but the marketing is trash. They don't know how to market. So again, master marketing. Master your craft, master marketing, and you will never starve. But marketing is very important. Got to learn how to market. Got to learn marketing. Got to learn marketing. Lindell, man, yeah, I got a few white clients. I actually got a grand total of like 3. I got a grand total of like 3 white clients. Again, everybody know what it is. Hey, we gonna take their money, But 99% of my client base is black. And you know what I'm saying, the white people that were the white people that came to me got referred to me by black people. So hey, we definitely will take their money though. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no problem with that. Yeah, just for sure. Like I said, man, when that marketing is fantastic, they just reel you in. Whole while they food and all their product service can be garbage. But that marketing got you. Like, ah man, they got me with the marketing, man. They got me. So again, man, you master your craft, man. You master the service, and then you learn how to market yourself, how to advertise, you know what I'm saying? How to put yourself out there. You know, those type of things, man. It's very important. So again, man, increasing your income is not as complicated as we try to make it seem. It only becomes complicated when we trying to play the corporate game, because now we dependent upon them to eat. That becomes a problem. That becomes a problem because at the end of the day, like, it revolves around how much they feeling us. And if they not feeling us, then they just gonna reject us no matter how valuable we think we are. But when you take that value and you apply, like you start something of your own, then again, you're not gonna fire yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna terminate yourself. So again, you take that skill, you take that trade, and you use it. You use it. You don't leave it up to these corporations, to these white folks. You don't leave it up to them to allow you to use it. Nah, you go out there and you use it. You use that skill. You use that trade for yourself. That's how we got to do it. If you great at something, man, you don't need their permission to be great at it. Start your own. Do it on your own. They're going to end up shortchanging you. They're going to end up taking most of the profit for your hard work anyway. So you get more bang for your buck doing it on your own anyway. Oh yeah, Chris, for sure. Word of mouth, when you study marketing, word of mouth is still the best form of marketing, actually. Even in 2021, word of mouth is still at the top in regards to marketing. I got it's twofold. I got a lot of my clients from Facebook ads, but once I got a small group of people from Facebook, most of the people now I got word of mouth. Friend tell a friend. You can't beat that form of marketing. Why? Because people gonna trust their friend. Like if you got a good friend and they working out with a trainer and they tell you and you've been looking for one, they like, man, I'm working out with this dude, he good. They gonna trust you. You know what I'm saying? You working out with somebody and you got family members that's looking for a trainer. That family member trusts you and you go back and you tell them, like, there you go. That's word of mouth. Word of mouth is very powerful because people know people. Opposed to social media, they see you, they don't know you. You know what I'm saying? They just see your ad on social media. They don't know you though. When you working with a person and they take that information back to another person, they gonna trust that person. They gonna trust the friend. They gonna trust the daughter. They gonna trust the sister. They gonna trust the brother. So yeah, word of mouth is definitely powerful. But I got most of my original clients through Facebook ads and some of the people that I was already training at the commercial gym when it shut down on me. Justin, hey, Contagious is a great book. I got hip to that book through Nipsey. Like Nipsey got me hip to that book. I read that book in like a day. But you know, again, I don't like talking about my degree, but one of them is in marketing. So I know all about marketing. Like if I wasn't doing this thing in the gym, I would have a marketing business. That was what I was gonna start. Either I was gonna do what I'm doing right now, I was gonna start a marketing business. I was gonna start a marketing business. I was gonna help black businesses, of course, with social media marketing. But that's my field, and I'm actually passionate about marketing. So I'm always studying marketing. Dusty, for sure, man. Hey, marketing is that thing. Once you like everything becomes simple. That's why I'm never concerned. That's why I'm never concerned about lacking clients, because I know how to get customers. I know how to get clients. It's very simple. As long as you got social media, you will never be out of clients. Never. You should never be out of clients. It's easy. Easy work. Even when you start to lose them, it's easy to gain them. And it's not that expensive either. So marketing is not a problem, depending on your service, depending on the business. But for the most part, it's simple. It's simple. Once you establish who your target market is, it's a wrap from there. It's easy. It's light work, as I call it. You know what I'm saying? It's light work. So I tell people all the time, focus on the marketing. Focus on the marketing. To Renzo for sure. You know what I'm saying? And word of mouth, man, that travels, man. Travels. So that's how I get a lot of my people, man. Just word of mouth. Word of mouth. If I don't have to do any more marketing on the internet, social media gonna get me not social media, word of mouth gonna get me to where I need to be. Yeah, Dusty, man. Yeah, the target audience. You gotta know who your ideal customer is, and that's where a lot of people, man. I'm gonna get to talking about business here in a minute. But you gotta know, like, step number one, like, I don't pursue anything until you figure out who your ideal customer is, and you should have a male version and a female version of your ideal client, depending on what your service is. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what your service is. But you should have like two people who will be your ideal client, ideal customer. So always identify your target customer, your ideal client, ideal customer. And I'm talking about get deep off in the trenches with this person. How do they think? What would they search for if they was looking for your service? You know what I'm saying? What triggers their emotions? You gotta get in tune with this person. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about you gotta think everything. What colors do this person like? You got to think about it that deeply. You got to think about it that deeply. And when you get that deep with this ideal customer, then it's a wrap in regards to reaching them. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Oh, Chris, for sure, man. Yeah, business is one of my things. Obviously, like I said, I went to school for it. So, I was sitting there trying to take some of it seriously, But I studied a lot of it on the side. Hence why when I went to college for business, it was easy. Like this is back in my gamer days. I just played the game. Man, I didn't take college seriously at all. Man, I stayed up late. I just played the game. Wake up, I was passing to this stuff was easy because I was studying that stuff on the side anyway. So they out here trying to get people to pay $200-$300 for the books. Man, I got $10 books that's give me the same information. And I'm just breezing through it. Like I'm breezing through it. I'm like, oh man, all of this stuff was in these books these little $10 books that I got about the same subject. So college was easy simply because I had already started studying business, marketing, things like that. I basically already had an understanding of it, man, because of my studying. Like it was real easy. But man, I can go in depth about business. Two things I can really thoroughly talk about that a lot of people probably don't know. For sure, like a health, obviously, but business, man, I can get off in the trenches in regards to business, man. I can talk a lot about business. And like you said, a lot of black people don't have these conversations. A lot of black people are afraid of business, like to go in business for themselves. A lot of times when you talk to black people, it's a fear. They think it's harder than what it really is to go into business for themselves. So I know a lot of black people because, we like to cook. So I know a lot of black people, man. I'm like, man, hey, you need to, you need to sell plates on it. You need to do something, man. You need to start a business with this cooking, man. You too good. You too good for them, man. You need to do something. They be like, man, I don't know. I don't want to. We got this fear. We got this phobia of starting a business. We think it's complicated. We think it's going to be extra stressful. Yeah, in the beginning, it may be. But once you master the art of business, how to work on the business and not in the business, and you create systems, everything becomes easier. So initially, out the gate, it's going to be rough. It may be stressful. But then when you create systems that make everything easier for you, when you train people and you working on a business, not in it, man, come on, man, it's easy. You just sit back, making money while you sleep, making money while you're on vacation. Like, come on, man. That's what you're doing. Justin, man, any good books on business? I'm trying to think. Y'all know off the top of my head, man, when they ain't around my books, man, it be taking me a minute to think of my good old suggestions here. It be taking me a good old minute, man. I'm gonna go back to the crib, man, because I got a lot of business books, man. A lot of business books. Yeah, that contagious. Guerrilla marketing is another one. But y'all, on top of that, I think my piece of equipment just arrived. So I'm gonna have to cut this joint short as I was thinking about some of my books, and I'm gonna have to pick up this piece of equipment, try to put it together real quick, man. Y'all know we always love new additions to the family, to the gym family out here. Wait a minute, hold up. Nope, don't look like this my piece of equipment. Hold up. They tricked me, they pump faked me, they got me. That ain't my piece of equipment. They got me. They still ain't delivering my equipment, man. See, they playing with me. But hold on. So all right, business books though. So I can continue talking. I continue my build. False call, false alarm. But you got Rich Dad Poor Dad. Obviously, that's a good one. The Richest Man in Babylon. That's a real good one. The Richest Man in Babylon. I read that joint, man. That's a pretty good book. Tony Robbins. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know Tony Robbins. He actually got a pretty good book. I think it's called like Money, Master the Game or something like that. That's a pretty good book. It's another book called Principles. That's also another good business book. See, it take me a minute to start thinking about these books. But Richest Man in Babylon, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it's like a Rich Dad, Poor Dad series, man. It's like a lot of books under that umbrella of Rich Dad Poor. It's like, I think it's called the Rich Dad Poor Dad series. They got a lot of books like Start Your Own Corporation, Tax-Free Wealth, How to Start an LLC. Like all of these type of books are under that Rich Dad Poor Dad imprint or whatever. So I recommend getting a lot of those books because I got a lot of them joints. But that Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins, that's actually a pretty crucial book. It's crazy. Donald Trump and Kiyosaki, they got a book together. I forgot what that book is called, but I read that book. So Donald Trump and the Rich Dad Poor Dad cat, they got a book together. And that's actually one of the best books I've read on business. Crazy. Donald Trump and the Kiyosaki, I forgot the name of the book because I read so long ago. But Kiyosaki and Donald Trump got a book together. And that book, I recommend everybody read that book for business purposes. That's a pretty good book. Hey, the Swarthy Wizard, peace. Appreciate that donation. Oh yeah, Sun Tzu Art of War, all that. 48 Laws of Power obviously is a good business book. Oh yeah, Damon John. Oh yeah. The Power of Broke. I read that book, and man, he got another book. I read so many books, I forget the names of some of these books. But The Power of Broke by Damon John, The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. That's a good book, The 10X Rule. Y'all start naming people. I done read pretty much every book by some of these individuals. But Damon John, I done read all of his books. But The Power of Broke, that's that joint. That's that joint right there. The Power of Broke by Damon John, man. That's a pretty solid book. I got a few business books, man. I got some old school business book by some black folk. I got to go back, though. Think and Grow Rich, The Black Choice. That's a good book. It's a Think and Grow Rich version of the black version of that book. How to Hustle and Win, parts 1 and 2 by Supreme Understanding. Those are also some good business books on the black end. And definitely written by one of the guys, man. So How to Hustle, How to Win, parts 1 and 2. Those books are good as well. Yeah, those books are right and exact. I read them books early on. I mean, that's when I got hit to getting vending machines and stuff like that. He wrote them in that book. I'm like, hold on, man, I didn't even think about this. But How to Hustle and Win, parts 1 and 2. Those are definitely get those joints. You don't get any other books that I mentioned. Get those books. Hey, man, you'll learn some basic things about economics. Read Message to the Black Man by Elijah Muhammad. You know, you will get the game. You will get the game there. Yeah, you would get the game there, but I got a lot of business books. Dusty, you say the guerrilla marketing book, Tony Anderson. That might be it. I forgot the author. Like I said, I be forgetting, man. Hey, don't hold it to me, man. I done read so much, I be forgetting authors and book names sometimes. I know I done read them joints, but guerrilla marketing, yeah, that might be the name. I can't remember. But yeah, that book is pretty good. Guerrilla Marketing is a good book for those that don't have the budget So like businesses just starting off, guerrilla marketing is great. You know what I'm saying? It goes along with like guerrilla warfare and whatnot. You learn the marketing aspect of that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a war. You know what I'm saying? It's a battle out here in regards to business. Like you competing with other businesses, other people that offer your same service. You know what I'm saying? Other people that had the same type of product. It's a war. You know what I'm saying? Y'all battling for position out here. So that's why that guerrilla marketing book is nice. Oh, Chris, for sure, man. Hey, and I didn't been in that zone. Like if I'm not like I rarely listen to music these days. Like I do not have the desire to listen to music, man. I need to listen to. If I do listen to music, it's got to be with a little message. It's got to be informative. It's got to be educational music. If I do feel the need to listen to music outside of when I'm working out or something, and even sometimes when I work out, I may put on some like affirmations, or I may listen to like a speech or something, or a little podcast or whatever the case may be. Oh, Dusty, whoa, okay. Let me see. You say, do you have practical advice for vetting people? Man, I don't deal with a lot of people from like as far as having employees and stuff like that. So I don't have no advice on that end. But like vetting like clients, like potential clients and whatnot. And I want to say this too. If you got you know what I'm saying, like a service-based business and you got to take on clients, all money is not good money. I want to say that. All money is not good money. Some people you just don't need to work with. And that's when it comes down to analyzing yourself. Analyzing yourself. Analyzing your strengths and weaknesses, your likes and your dislikes. The good thing about being in business for yourself is you don't have to work with certain people. So when you come across a person that may be willing to pay you top dollar for your product or service, or for your service, but y'all just don't hit it off, sometimes like it's best to say no, because that's gonna end up being a headache down the line for you. That's gonna end up being bad for your health. So some people you just gotta reject, man. If you realize that you and this person just it's not, we don't mesh, man. We don't mesh. Don't just take that person on because of the money. That is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Is just taking somebody on because of the money. Don't do that. Don't become that person. All money ain't good money. Oh, y'all say 50 Cent, but I forgot to mention the 50 Cent. Yeah, what's it? Hustle harder, hustle smarter. Or it might be the reverse. And the 50th Law. Both of those 50 Cent books are some jewels in regards to business. And RZA's book, man. RZA got it. His book, man, is, hey, I recommend his little book as well. But let me see, man. Somebody I wanted to oh, Chris, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's why I was gonna do the market. That's why I was gonna start the marketing business. Because again, that's me going to another business for sure. Like that's why I was gonna do that. Heck, I really still should do that, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like I really still should start this marketing business. Like ain't nothing really stopping me from doing it other than like my schedule at this time. But man, that right there was good money. I had people at the bank like, hey, let me know. But hey, people need marketing, especially the older people with businesses, man. They not hip to social media. Yeah, that never take that first deal, man. Y'all gonna have me turn this into a business YouTube channel, man. But yeah, never just take somebody on because they willing to pay you, man. I mean, goodness, I learned that the hard way. All money ain't good money, man. You're gonna be dealing with a bunch of headaches when you just accept anybody that's willing to pay you. You gotta have some boundaries, man. You gotta have some like, hey, I'm not dealing with a person like this. No, not dealing with it. Not dealing with them. Not dealing with them. It's just some people, man. I'm just not dealing with them, man. Just not dealing with them. Man. I just don't want to deal with certain people. And when you in business for yourself, you don't have to. When you work for other people, you got to deal with these people. When you in business for yourself, you can work with who you comfortable working with. And that's the good thing about being in business for yourself. You can pick and choose who you work with. I think that's one of the best things about being in business for this. I can pick and choose the type of people that I train instead of having to deal with any and everybody who's thrown my way. Like, all right, I'm good. I don't have to work with you. I have to work with you. Yeah, Justin, definitely get that RZA joint, man. Definitely get that. Yeah, hey, learn no. Like that. Saying no is very powerful. Like I said, it's plenty other trainers around here. So I'm not able to do it, but hey, you might be a good match for somebody else. I'm not greedy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not greedy when it comes to business. Listen, if we ain't a good match, hey, cool. I'm good with that. Hey, let me try to find somebody who might be a good match. I know other trainers. Let me try to find somebody else for you. What you say, Dusty? I am not the oldest in the room, but I don't have too much room to make mistakes, especially given current climate. So when vetting is usually learned with experience, it is a tricky thing for me right now. Hey, man, you just got to stay on point. You got to be sharp. You know what I'm saying? You got to be sharp in regards to just analyzing, examining. You know what I'm saying? Just be sharp. Again, trust the gut. You know what I'm saying? Your gut not going to lie to you, so trust that gut. You got to trust your gut. You got to trust your gut will instantly let you know. You know what I'm saying? So trust that gut. Trust the gut. Listen to your gut at all times, man. It's going to let you know it ain't going to steer you in the wrong direction. Trust your gut. Like, you know, out the gate. You know what I'm saying? When I'm coming in here and I'm talking to people, I instantly know, like, yeah, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? This ain't going to work. Instantly. Chuck Cujo out for sure, man. Introverted to like I said, to a fault. Don't be wanting to deal with people, yet people come to you with the ignorance, with the nonsense, and your patience just ain't great, man. Your patience just ain't the greatest. When you introvert and you gotta deal with the public, you know what I'm saying? Like they test your gangster, as I like to say. They test your patience, man. Test your patience big time. It's like, man, come on, man. Like, come on. They test it. Now, when I worked at the bank, man, when I worked at these banks, they was constantly testing my patience. And then that's when I really realized how financially illiterate we are, because again, I worked in the black neighborhoods, obviously. And I just realized the lack of knowledge, man, the lack of knowledge that we had, the lack of knowledge that we possessed. And I realized then that my patience wasn't the best. I'm like, man, these people don't know anything in pertaining to banking, pertaining to finance. Thus, you say, how do you wait a minute? How do you like to deal with overthinking and analyzing besides working out and meditation? So you said overthinking and analyzing. So the way I deal with that is, again, like when you write things down for the most part, and you able to just look at things like, if I need to make a decision, so every decision has pros and cons, but it's hard for you to weigh the pros and cons when you're trying to just do it all in the mind. So one of the best things to do is just write the stuff down on paper. So when you really need to make a decision, man, you're going to weigh the pros and the cons of said decision. So it's like when you write it down on paper, you say, all right, if I take this route, here are the pros, here are the cons. Well, I got more pros and cons. Decision made. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. If you say, all right, if I take this route and you came up with more cons than pros, don't overthink it. Don't do that. Don't do it. But writing things down on paper, man, is really helpful because you're able to just see it. Like, dang, man, if I do this, these are all the cons. That's a lot of cons. It's barely any pros if I do this. So I'm not doing it. So I like writing things down just on paper, man, so I can see it. Instead of just trying to have it all in my mind. When I just leave it up to the mind, man, it's easy to overthink that way. When I see it on paper, ain't really nothing to overthink. It's right there in front of me. It's like right there. Like if I do X, Y, and Z, this will happen. It's right there on the paper. I wrote it down. So it ain't really nothing to think about. I'm about to think about what's on this paper, what this paper is telling me. So accept what you wrote down and then go from there. You know what I'm saying? If your pros outweigh your cons, make that decision. And understand, like, listen, understand that you're going to make some so-called mistakes. You know what I'm saying? As long as you learn from them. So every decision you make ain't gonna be a perfect decision. It is what it is. But do your due diligence, write it down, weigh your pros and cons, man. And then, like I said, them pros outweigh the cons. Go ahead and make that decision. Go ahead and do it. Them cons outweigh the pros, don't do it. Like, nah, this ain't a good move to make. This ain't a good move to make. So I'm always, you know what I'm saying? I'm always weighing like pros and cons, man. Like, all right, if I do this, if I do that, if I do this, all right, these are the pros. Here go the cons for this. Got to do that. Write it down. That's going to help with the overthinking. You know what I'm saying? Like brainstorming and then putting it all together. That's how you prevent yourself from overthinking. You don't write it down, you're just going to think about it all day. And that's it. You barely going to reach a conclusion because you're going to sit there thinking all day. Write it down. Force your mind to do some work and organize. Like, write it down, organize it. Boom, I'm put here, boom, boom, boom. Organize that joint. Brainstorm and organize. That's going to prevent the overthinking. Percy, my brother, appreciate that donation. You say, when you worked at the bank, were you ever surprised that some people their bank balance match their appearance? Oh, listen, working at the bank, I can confirm, you know, the individuals that people talk about that look like money but don't have it. I saw that firsthand working at banks. And I saw the vice versa part. The people that look like they out here struggling got all the money in the bank. I can confirm that from working in the bank. I can confirm that. I can confirm that. I can confirm that. And I can confirm I just know how the wealthy people was moving. The wealthy people had different conversations in the bank. You know what I'm saying? Like different conversations. You know, they talking about life insurance policies, and they like, man, I ain't got my money. I don't have my money in this bank in the savings account. It don't generate no interest, stuff like that. They really they give you the game. You having different conversations, like a CD, a savings account. I ain't putting my money. That money ain't gonna generate nothing. That money ain't gonna give me nothing. Like the interest is trash. And they talk about life insurance policies, man. They have a whole different conversation. They talk about ownership, things like that. So the conversation is different. Conversation is different. And I can tell you the people that stressed about money the least were the people that owned. The people that owned, they stressed about money the least. The people that own, I can tell you that's why I said, let me go ahead and make this move. The people that stressed about money the least are the people that own businesses. People that own. The people that own. And then, of course, your white privileged people that had decent positions at jobs. They was cool. But even on the white end, the white people that owned. The white people that own. Dusty for sure. Oh yeah, Chris, yeah, hey, definitely do that, man. If you got people that you're dealing with, definitely. And then also too, allow them to have a voice as well, you know. The wife is in the building, y'all. Say peace to the wife. And yeah, Chris, yeah, for sure, man. I'm telling you, man, I did the knowledge to a lot working in the bank. Hence why I was like, yeah, going into business for myself is the move. I mean, literally. Man, them dudes at the bank kept telling, they like, dude, why are you still here? Like they would question. They're like, man, why are you still here, man? Why are you still here, man? Like they was literally like, man, this is not the move, man. It's like, man, if you're not like ownership, that's the only way, man. They was telling me that. They was telling me that out the gate. They was like, man, get out this bank, man. You don't want to work for nobody. Get out of here, man. You're not gonna generate your wealth like that. That's what they was telling me. So I was like, man, I finally listened. I finally listened. One of the best decisions that I've ever made, man, just listening to them. You know what I'm saying? Again, it comes with sacrifices, man. But the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. And that's an actual fact. That's an actual fact. But, man, they was all telling me the same thing. They was like, man, what are you here for? You wasting your time here, man. Like, that's what they were telling me. That's what the black owners was telling me. I done had some white owners. They all told me that. They're like, man, you wasting your time here. You're not gonna get what you worth in here. It's not gonna happen. So I was like, all right, respect. Let me make that move, man. Let me go ahead and make the move. But I learned a lot working in the banks, man. That's the only thing I don't regret about working in banking. You learn a lot and you establish a lot of good connections, build networks and all that type of stuff, man. And it comes in handy when you need certain things. So that was one good thing, one solid thing about working in these banks, man. But I learned a lot, man, from the people that actually have money, that actually have wealth. I learned a lot in regards to that. The type of accounts that they have, man. They don't put all their eggs in one basket. They got several accounts, all these different type of banks and all that type of stuff, man. I was learning how to move. Learning how to move. And like I said, the wealthiest ones always had their own of something. Even if they still had a job somewhere, they owned something. They owned something, whether it was real estate, whether it was their own business. They owned something. Like I said, even if they had a job, they still had some level of ownership somewhere. Whether it was land or whether it was their own business, whether it was a franchise, whatever the case may be, they owned something. Those were the truly wealthy people, man. You were like all the wealthy people that I came across, they owned something. Ownership is important. But it's harder to get that through your black people's heads, man. It's harder to get that through your people's heads. Like, it's harder to get it through their heads and their minds. They start coming up with excuses as to why they can't own. They come up with a lot of different excuses. Man, everybody wasn't the... I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, ownership don't necessarily mean that you got to be a boss. See, people don't be understanding that. People don't be understanding that. Like, ownership don't necessarily mean you got to be a boss, man. It don't necessarily mean you got to be a boss. It don't necessarily mean you got to have people working under you. That ain't what ownership is about. That ain't what being self-sufficient is about. You don't have to have employees to be an owner. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have employees. You don't have to have workers to have ownership. So people don't be understanding that. People don't understand that joint. D Monty, peace, my brother. Yeah, hey, I know a lot of people do that joint, and they love it, like because of the freedom and all of that. They love it. They love it. But people don't understand it, man. People like to make that comment, man. Everybody ain't designed to be this, man. Listen, everybody is designed to own something. Like, how stupid do black people? Like, that's how we start sounding as black people. We ain't designed. So we ain't designed to own something? Like, we built this country, and when you telling me most of us ain't designed to have some type of ownership in it? Stop playing with me. I'm designed to own something, a piece of this land. Hey, my ancestors died building this country, so therefore I'm entitled to some form of ownership in this country. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. I'm going to own something here. All right, my ancestors ain't finna die in vain, man. They put their life on the line to build this country, so therefore we entitled to something. We entitled to something. We entitled to something for sure. Joy is serving. Man, I got the ownership books. Man, I got a book. It's by the dude Jay Morrison. And I don't really too much know if I trust dude for real, man. So I don't even know if I want to recommend that book, man. But it's about owning land, owning property. I forgot the name of the book, but I read that book some years ago. It's by Jay Morrison. Y'all know who Jay Morrison is. But Jay Morrison give me some like scammer type vibes. But I did read that book about land ownership, home ownership, one of them joints, man. I forgot what it was about, man. But that book talks a little about ownership. I got some more books, but I had to go back to the lab where my books is at to recommend them joints. D Monty for sure. Definitely gonna be somebody else's food. Definitely gonna be somebody else's food for sure. And we ain't going out like that. You know what I'm saying? So again, ownership is key. Being self-sufficient is key. Black people, we gotta do that. Like I said, man, that's the path. All I'm saying, tell you ain't gotta have money to own. And that's another. See, y'all, I'm gonna have to start making this a business joint in a minute. But that's like a myth though. That's a myth too. People think that a lot of money is required to own. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. That's another reason why black people have a fear of ownership and starting businesses. People think it requires a lot of money. doesn't necessarily require a lot of money. And then, like I said, even if you got to generate some money through crowdsourcing and crowdfunding and all of that, that is essentially depending on how you market it. Again, free of charge, free of charge, free of charge. So it's all about the approach. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy ways. Even if you feel like what you got to do or what you want to do requires a lot of money, it's easy ways to generate the funds. It's all about the marketing. It's all about your copywriting. You know, things like that. That's marketing language. But it's about things like that though. So you can generate that money. You can generate that money. But a lot of these businesses don't require as much money as people think. And even owning some of the property, man, this land right where I'm at in the St. Louis area, there is land and houses that's not expensive at all to own. Now, they not in the best of condition, but to essentially own them don't require that much money. Like, it's some land over here for cheap, some houses over here for cheap. Again, they not in the best of condition. But again, you can own it and you can do something with it and flip it, you know? Oh, yeah, my brother Antonio, yeah, that J.J. Morrison kind of rubbed me the wrong way. That's why I don't want to recommend his book. But again, you know what I'm saying? I'll take the best part of everything. But once you scam it, I feel like your book is a scam now. I feel like everything that's in this book is a scam. So I don't know if I'm going to follow your directions at this point. But I did read his book. DeMonte, for sure. For sure. I was training at a gym under an LLC for free. You know what I'm saying? So I know all about that. Yeah, I definitely know all about that, man. But if I didn't take the path that I'm currently on right now, as far as like the gym and stuff, I'm telling you, business was about to be my focus. Business was about to be like my main focus, man, because I saw a need for that in the black community. The business mindset or a business mentality is trash in the black community. So I was like, man, especially coming from somebody such as myself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't see people like myself talk about the business aspect of life and all of that good stuff, man. So it's a lot of things that I've learned along the way in regards to business, marketing, just every facet of business in regards to just how to move and how to protect yourself legally. You know what I'm saying? How to write things off on the tax, how to benefit from your taxes, man. I mean, listen, if you start an LLC and you travel, you go on vacation, as long as you spend about 4 hours of that vacation dedicated to some revolving around your business, man, you can write that trip off. You can write that trip off. Write that off on your taxes. Man, I got the game from one of the rich dad, poor dad dudes. He was like, man, so they business was real estate. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, they'd go travel and they'd spend like a few hours just driving through neighborhoods looking at houses because they business is real estate, buying up property. So they'd spend a few hours looking, like driving through neighborhoods, looking up houses. And that enabled them to write off that vacation, write off that trip, because they spent a few hours a day looking at properties. If you going out for lunch and y'all discussing business, you can write off the lunch. Like stuff like this that people don't know about. We can literally start a business, start an LLC, and literally enjoy our lives and benefit from it and not pay taxes. So all these vacations, all these trips that we go on as black people, we could literally benefit from going on these vacations if we just start LLCs. We can literally, just imagine if you can go to Jamaica and Cancun and write it off. Just imagine that. Just imagine that. Oh yeah, Toronto for sure. You don't need absolutely anything. When you got the idea, we good. That's all you need. Cause everything gonna literally come to you. So again, when you got the idea, man, everything gonna come to you. Everything. Hey, D Monty, for sure, man. I'm telling y'all, man, this is crazy. I mean, you can write off any and everything. Man, start you a home-based business, and you can write off the utility. You can write off everything, all the expenses of the crib that you got to pay for anyway. You can literally write these things off by creating a home-based business. You create a home-based business, and you using your phone to make your videos to conduct your business right off the phone bill. So now you benefiting from having this phone bill. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I got to use my computer for this home-based business right off the internet. So right off. I got to have these lights on in order to conduct my bit. Write it off. Anything that's pertaining to the business. If you an influencer, you buying furniture. That furniture in you it has something to do with your videos, with the aesthetics. Right off. You got to buy wardrobe for your bit. Right off. Like, you literally can benefit from just living your everyday life by creating LLCs, man. Legitimate LLCs. But, man, all the stuff that we enjoy buying and doing, we can literally write it all off. And we wonder how these wealthy folks don't pay taxes. And they laughing at folks for paying taxes. Like Donald Trump them talking about how long they done went without paying taxes. This is how they do it. This is why a lot of people that have LLCs are essentially like money-wise, they try to remain broke, because the more money that they have, the more that's taxed. So we always trying to spend money. Like, I'm always trying to buy equipment related to this, because the more I spend, the more I can write off. But the more that I keep, the more that they gonna tax. So a business person is always trying to find ways to spend the money. Because you don't just want to have the money sitting somewhere. They're going to tax it. So like, all right, man, let me buy this equipment here. Let me buy this there. Let me buy this there. We trying to spend money. We trying to spend money. We always trying to spend money, man. Like, again, people don't be understanding that. Spending money. Oh, yeah, D-Monty, them tips. Yeah, charitable donations. Heck, donating on this joint when you got an LLC. Write off. Write off. Oh, yeah, Chris, and there you go. That's the formula. There we go. That's the formula. You know, that's the formula. That's the formula. That's how we do it. That's how we continue to do it. That's how we move. But I'm always looking to spend money on this gym. Like, man, what can I buy? I got to buy something. I don't want to have this money sitting. And then I don't want to use this money on something that's not business related. That's tax, man. That's how you pay taxes. We trying not to pay taxes around here. You know what I'm saying? We trying to keep most of our bread, so we spend it on things related to the business. So like I said, man, that's why I was gonna have a whole business. Because, man, business, I had to study business, obviously. To go in business for yourself, you got to study it. Got to know what you're doing out here to protect yourself, because they try to come at the kid. They try to come at the kid. You know what I'm saying? They try to shut the black business down, try to shut the black man down. So you got to master the art of business on their end. You know what I'm saying? Learn how they going to come at you. You know what I'm saying? Got to learn the defense against it. So I had to learn the rules of engagement. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn how they move out here. Got to cross all my T's, dot all my I's. So I had to study them. And I'm still studying them in regards to business. So if they try to catch me slipping, they can't. But y'all, with that being said, man, I got to make a move, man, because my piece of equipment ain't came yet. And I'm going to have to make some calls, man, because my piece of equipment should have been here by now, man. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to get off this joint and make some calls, because I ain't really liking what's up, man. This piece of equipment should have been here. So I'm going to have to check the status real quick. I'm saying I might have to go off on somebody, man. Y'all know how I go. They can't be playing around with people's funds out here. Equipment should have been here. But with that being said, man, I appreciate the donations, appreciate all the comments, appreciate y'all tapping in. The energy, the vibe is always peaceful. I'm going to get out here, y'all, man. I'm going to handle some business. And I might not tap in with y'all for a few days, man, so y'all be easy, man. Catch up on the past videos that I did. And I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all, man. I'm out. Peace.